highlights the moral depravity of the culture of death, that they would treat the remains of the unborn that they tell us are not human beings and deserve no protection under law for their right to life, but certainly they're used for experimentation because, in fact, they are human beings biologically. Speaking of corruption in the medical community, one of the worst and terrible forms of corruption is the use of fetal organs obtained from the bodies of unborn human beings killed by abortion for Frankenstein-like medical experiments. Human mice hybrids, they were attaching the scalps of unborn babies to mice, right? Just nightmare, using livers and thymuses and brains, selling heads, hearts, right? And we have the credit card receipts. We've done the investigation. Yeah, University of Pittsburgh, where we had exposed essentially what was a chop shop. I mean, they had buzzsaws and everything to dismember the innocent unborn killed through abortion. We exposed that, federally funded, by the way, by the FDA in part, with our friends at the Center for Medical Progress. Outrageous stuff. Now, this became a controversy thanks in part to Judicial Watch disclosures during the Trump administration of these barbaric experiments, and Trump, to his credit, and his administration turned off the spigot, or attempted to, for these horrific experimentation programs that were widespread. I mean, they were essentially trafficking in fetal organs, arguably contrary to law. One court found, in getting documents for us, he said, well, this looks like it's a violation of the law. You're not allowed to be doing this. So the Biden administration, which is full of pro-abortion, and I don't use that term lightly, extremists, came in and they turned the spigot back on. And whether the funding has actually flowed, I guess, is an open question, but that's why we're suing. So we sued after they refused to give us documents, the National Institutes of Health, for all communications regarding human fetal tissue between the Office of Extramural Research and any of the following entities: the University of Pittsburgh Pitt, which had that chop shop for the little bodies I told you about, the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, also involved, the National Abortion Federation, a pro-abortion monolith, and Planned Parenthood, which is an entity I think is the single biggest provider of abortion in America, responsible for the deaths of potentially millions of unborn human beings through abortion. And so I don't know where you stand on abortion, but I tell you what, if there's one thing I hope we agree upon, is that if a fetus is developed enough to have a skull, a brain, a liver, and a thymus, we just don't treat them like garbage. And we just don't take their organs and treat them like a commodity. We wouldn't do that for any other human being. Why would we do that for the unborn? And I tell you, it highlights the moral depravity of the culture of death, that they would treat the remains of the unborn that they tell us are not human beings and deserve no protection under law for their right to life, but certainly they're used for experimentation because, in fact, they are human beings biologically. So this is about, morally, as an important case or group of cases and investigations and educational activity as Judicial Watch is doing. I tell you, if this as a country is what we're doing, how can we hold our heads up? So I don't know what Congress is going to do. Maybe that would be an interesting case. Maybe they can start exposing and defunding this barbarism, these Frankenstein-like experiments. We've had as a result of these disclosures, the FDA confirmed that they use these fetal organ research programs to help figure out whether to allow vaccines to be used. I think they developed them for, at least in some measure, for the safety of some of these vaccines. You'll see all these fact checks. Well, they're not used in the development of the vaccine. Well, of course, the fact check leaves out they're used in ascertaining the safety of the vaccine. Oh, there are no fetal tissue lines in the vaccines. Well, the fetal tissue was used to make sure they were safe. And of course, their definition of safe is different than many other people's definition of safe. So there are a lot of lies around this because a lot of people are very nervous that Americans are going to get on to these Frankenstein operations that we're performing in medical facilities around the country using the body parts of the innocent unborn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.